So I have decided to do this little video today all about this little tennis ball. So if you struggle with your feet or your legs or even your back, this is one of my biggest tips that you can do. So you can get a tennis ball. I mean, you can use more expensive therapy balls, but a tennis ball is just as good. And I'm going to show you how you can release some of the fascia and some of the tension in the feet. And that is going to help work up the body. So we often neglect our feet. You know, our feet takes all our weight. We walk around, we're always on our feet, but we quite often neglect them. So we'll train our legs, our abs, our upper body, we'll do cardio, but then our poor feet are just getting pounded and pounded all the time. And a lot of our problems stem from our foundations, which is our feet. So I'm going to show you some little things that you can do with the tennis ball that will help relieve tension. You will also then release out the hamstrings, any problems maybe around the glutes and the lower back. At first, it might feel a little bit painful because if your feet and the fascia in your feet is quite tight, you will find that it might feel a little bit uncomfortable at first. So it's always best to go gentle when you first start, and then you can build up with the intensity. But as I said, just having a tennis ball is enough, and they're cheap enough to come by. So I'm going to show you now. I'm just going to pop you down here. Ignore this foot. I've damaged the tendon in my foot, because you know, why not? I haven't got enough injuries. So you're going to start with the ball, and you just start gently rolling the ball. So there's not really much pressure on at the moment. We're just creating a bit of warmth, we're just creating a little bit of movement into the foot. And then once you've done this for a couple of minutes with the movement, you can start just getting a little bit deeper into the foot. Now, it might make sense to hold onto a wall, or you can also sit down. I'm going to hold onto the wall just because I can't really put much pressure on this other foot. And then you'll start just going a little bit deeper. You can start going side to side. You can then get a little bit deeper as you've warmed up around this area, and it will feel a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to feel like there's like a little bit of tension around this area. We can stop, we can press down a little bit, release, stop, release, and come down. Getting a little bit warmer into the foot now, so you can start adding a little bit more pressure. You can also start just pressing down. You can separate into the toes as well, so you push down onto the ball and separate the toes out. And just start really warming up around this foot. Putting some pressure on, pushing down onto the tennis ball. You can go side to side as well, because maybe you've got your cross fibres. And just taking it. You can do this on carpet as well as floor. I'm just going to grab a mat because this seems to be going everywhere, just so I can get a bit more traction. That's better. So I can get a little bit deeper now, I can come down, I can take the toes and really push down onto that tennis ball. You'll see it's getting a little bit flatter. You can take it down onto the back, come into the heels. You can go across, get right into the outside as well, and into the arch of the foot. Now for me, the arch of the foot, I feel a lot of fascia there, a lot of tension. And know when to stop, obviously, when you're doing it. Getting in a little bit more tension. Might want to hold, press down, a few big deep breaths, and then release it out again and getting into that foot. And once you've done this foot, you can spend about 5-10 minutes on the foot. Go for like a little walk around and see the difference in the foot. The foot's going to feel a little bit different. It's going to feel looser, it's going to feel lighter. And you might even find that as if you were to lean forward, or if you were to propel off and walk, that you've got a bit more kind of like shock absorb and see a bit more fluidity as you go along. It's really good to do. If you're struggling with that, you can also get the ball and do a little bit of work into the foot as well. But honestly, it's really good just to get into it. So tennis balls are really an inexpensive things you can get. They're like really cheap. You can get them in places like Sports Direct. I'm sure like places like Home and Bargain probably do them, and they are amazing for doing this. So if you are struggling maybe with hamstrings, with lower back, anything like that, and you feel like you need like a little bit of release, try this. As I said, at first when you do it, it's going to feel a little bit painful, just because we have got a lot of build up. If you're like me, you've got a high arch, you might feel, because the fascia is a bit more in like a stretch position, that you might feel that. But give it a go, see if it releases out. Obviously, if anything feels uncomfortable or painful, please stop, but just see how you get on. It's really good if you've got tightness into your hamstrings or your lower back, if you play a lot of sport, if you run a lot, footballers, anything like that, just release now, because remember, our feet are our foundations. You know, they carry us, it's our security, it's our safety, it's our root, and we need to start looking after our feet. Any questions, let me know, and let me know if you give it a go as well.